The Chinook landed as gracefully as it was able, and the team was almost immediately on the move. Elijah brought a handkerchief to the damaged side of his face, dabbing at the corner of his mouth just in case he had dribbled. He'd had no feeling there since he'd maimed himself during a ritual of exorcism he'd performed during his service to the Catholic Church. He noticed the smell as soon as he disembarked, the sharp, smoky stink of burning flesh. They had landed at the back of the estate, on an open, grassy area often used for outdoor events. It looked like a war zone. The first chopper was lying broken and twisted on its side like some beached leviathan, bodies strewn about the perfectly manicured lawn. The evil that he'd been sensing since the mission had begun intensified. It was thick, palpable, swirling in the air like thick wood smoke. Elijah used his headset to attempt to communicate with the commander of the first security team, but got nothing but static. Whatever had happened occurred quickly, immediately, viciously. Nothing moved upon the lawn except the smoke rising from the downed chopper and the smoldering bodies. Team Brimstone had withdrawn their weapons, both traditional and arcane, and were cautiously moving forward, eyes scanning the area before the house for signs of a threat. A young man by the name of Dixon carefully walked to the closest of the bodies to examine it. The corpse was charred black and crumbled as he touched it. Elisha felt cold sweat trickle down his back. He was guessing that it was some sort of magical defense, a trap set for anyone who would try to disturb what was going on inside the massive home. He shared his suspicions with a woman named Clancy, and she proceeded to do her thing, uttering an ancient Sumerian spell of guidance and protection as they drew closer to the mansion. The response was weak, most of the magic likely used in the earlier attack. Bolts of crackling energy reached out as they got within 50 feet of the structure, but the protective spell that Clancy had put around them saved them from harm. The bolts were like serpents snapping at their presence as they drew closer. This was powerful magic, Elijah worried, and he became even more concerned with what they might find inside. The security spell continued to try to keep them back, growing weaker with each strike until there was only an annoying buzz in the air. Clarkson, a heavy-set former Benedictine monk, went to the huge front doors and removed 2 sets of rosary beads from a leather pouch on his side. Carefully, he wrapped the beads about both hands and made 2 powerful fists. The man then looked to Elijah for confirmation. Elijah nodded, and the bear of a man lunged at the doors, punching them with fists that had begun to glow with an unearthly light. The rosaries were reacting to the environment and the evil that filled the air. The doors flew open with an almost human moan, and they were nearly driven back by the intensity of the atmosphere. Elijah could sense his team's reaction, a sudden sense of panic. "Hold it together, Brimstone," he commanded, anchoring them to the importance of the moment. And they did just that. Clarkson unwrapped his fists, kissed each set of beads, and put them back into their pouch for safety. Team Brimstone swarmed into the house, traditional weapons at the ready. Seeing that it was clear, Elijah followed, taking in the opulence of the manor. Marble floors, hardwood staircases, works of priceless art hanging on every wall. Evil was good business these days, and it treated its servants well. Spells of protection were uttered as the team began to investigate, moving out from the foyer. There appeared to be no other defensive spells laid, the primary focus seeming to be on keeping intruders out. But now that they were in, Elisha knew at once that they were too late. Whatever was supposed to happen here had already occurred. The defensive spells that had been set outside were only a deterrent to keep them away until the event could be completed. And it had. He knew this. He could feel it in the thick scar tissue of his disfigured face. His good eye fell upon the corridor to the side of the foyer. That was where they would need to go. From his study of the mansion's blueprints, he knew that the corridor would bring them to the formal ballroom. "Down here," he said, being drawn down the corridor. His soldiers went before him.